Okay, let's have another game. Okay, sahmatist 2064. We're going to try mainline Sicilian. Oh, okay, I'll drag the knight back. He's dragging the knight back. Pardon me. Put the bishop here and castle king side of it. So bishop e3, f4, that sort of thing. Prophylaxis there. If I clamp down on b5 for a moment, typical sort of position. Looks like it. Queen f2 was like g4. Queen g3, possibly useful. Knight h5, queen g4, queen f3. Does it matter about the centre? I mean, the c file being shared? Wouldn't have thought so. What about queen h4? Here's knight e4. After knight e4, there isn't queen h3, is there? d5. What about just e5 here? Takes bishop. Queen e5. There's nothing there. Queen g3. I'm not really sure what it does. What about bishop d4? If e5 takes rook f6 and knight d5. What about that? Pointing to try and provoke e5. Just to weaken d5. So, okay, take. d5 is a bit weakened. So mission accomplished. Let's put bishop here. It's going to strengthen e4. Okay, so I've got the c file potentially. I've got d5, bishop g5, and it's got bishop e7 to counter d5 though. So it's not such a big deal. I'll do this to try and play knight d5. So actually, d pawn no. b6 is a bit vulnerable. Can't ever play queen f2. Oh, knight g4, queen f7. Okay. d4 here again, just liberating the centre, makes use of the knight on b3, so bishop d4 and then e5, or d5, changing the structure again, knight g4, d5, queen b4 is on knight, so maybe d5, or knight d5, what about just knight d5? Shields, I think knight d5 is good actually. So it shields after ed. So I'm threatening things now, hopefully, like rook c7. So bishop g1, okay. So ed94. ed94 might be threatening like rook c6 or knight f5. Otherwise, actually rook c6 is a threat. Takes knight e7. Rook c7, knight c7 are all threats. Rook c6 is interesting. Queen d7, knight b6, queen c6, rook c7, knight, queen d7. In that position, not really sure actually. What does that achieve? There's rook takes b6, and then there's potentially like a5 and taking, and then knight c5. Okay. Okay. So if I take on e5 to try and remove the central control, is taking on e5 worth it? Is there anything else? Rook c7 threatened like rook f7. Rook d7, don't know. So what about just taking and then knight d4 threatened knight c6 and knight f5? I think I'll do that. Get improving this worst piece, knight b3. Oh, there's rook d5. Hang on, it's rook d5. Oh, knight d4, rook d5. Ouch. Okay, prophylaxis needed. Get away from that pin. Put pressure on but then I haven't got knight d4 anymore. Okay. How can I improve this piece? A5. He could just win that pawn almost. He can win that pawn. I'm on B6 at the moment. Takes on, takes on. Okay, knight C5 or knight A5. Knight C5. If I just protect that knight for a moment, I'll protect the knight. If he takes, he's weakening F7. If he takes on B2, I'll take on A5. If he plays A4, maybe knight D4, bishop D5, ED, queen D5. Oh there. Solid. He's solid on F7. Okay, knight. Oh, against the king now. Oh dear. Okay, direct threat. So maybe no biggie. Okay, so knight D4, knight F5 coming up, or knight A5. Maybe knight A5 to play knight C6. Knight A5 to play knight C4 as well. Knight A5, knight B7, knight D4 or knight A5. Eeny mini. Knight A5 or knight D4. Probably knight A5 is okay, I hope. 1 minute 34. I don't want to get too short of time. Get embarrassing blunders. Get too short of time. B3 and knight C4 if given the chance. So B pawn doesn't drop. Otherwise, he takes on B2. What about rook B1 and knight B7? He's just too solid. His king's too solid. Haven't got any easy targets. If I try and, I don't know what the plan is. B3 knight C4. Is that a plan? If I get a chance to move the B pawn, just B3 and then knight C4. The knight will be good on C4. So he plays queen B2. Say he plays queen B2. Okay. I'll move it then. So I'm going to play knight C4. Well, he's going to mate me with H2 now, is he? Queen H5 is covered. Queen B2 is not covered. Oh dear. So Queen Queen H5 looks a bit desperate as a way of defending here, but if I don't, then takes, then bishop C5, knight E3, hitting the rook on D8. I think I'll go for that actually. I'm hoping I'm not getting mated. Pieces are kind of attacked. His queen's attacked. His rook will be attacked. And his rook on D8 will be attacked, and the back row will be slightly weak. I'm hoping knight E3 is okay. So knight E3 here, kind of pinning. I'll play knight G2 attacking the rook. So bishop C5 now take on D8. Otherwise maybe knight G. Knight G2. There's bishop C5. Okay. If I just take and rook D1. I can play E5 next, surely. That pin is bishop E7. Hang on, bishop E7. I'll do it anyway. So he plays bishop E7. I take and play queen A8. He protects. He's only got 2 seconds. Okay, he lost on time there. So yeah, that was a bit complex. Did it go as intended? Bishop D4. Was there a better way? Maybe if, I don't know, if anyone wants to engine analyze this position, I'll try and put PGN and think. I'm not sure about bishop D4. I think I've got a weak d3 pawn, but he let me liberate it. But then he's got a solid position after winning my dark square bishop. He's got f7 particularly. He could have just taken on b2. He goes for a 7th ranked sort of attack, but if I've got g2 covered, I've got the option of knight e3 here. It's a bit tricky. His pieces are kind of getting a bit loose. Comments or questions on YouTube. If you haven't already, please consider subscribing to the KingsCrusher channel. It's free and you'll be notified of any new videos. Thanks very much.